a broke bitch, and I can't go far, cause you know I can't afford it anyway. Can't rely on my own damn money. I'm so broke that it's not fun.
What exactly does it mean?
Love that cut. All right, buckle up, boys. We got the whole living paycheck to paycheck thing, okay? Some people say it's a scam. Some people say it's a conspiracy. I'm just kidding. If you're new here, welcome. We're going to have some fun. Get a little deep, but, let's talk about it. I'm pretty sure most of us have lived paycheck to paycheck at some point in our lives. And statistically speaking, unfortunately, a lot of you are. And I've been there. Oh, I've been there, brother. Anyways, let's talk about it. This first one, this is Rich. What do you consider paycheck to paycheck? Okay, just in case we don't understand, let's check it out.
To be living paycheck to paycheck, you will not have the savings to cover any unexpected expense. If you were to become unemployed tomorrow, you would not have any money to cover your bills. And you are not currently saving for retirement or for your future. There was a study done recently showing that 51% of six-figure earners are still living paycheck to paycheck. Because of course, there are people who live paycheck to paycheck because their paycheck literally just pays the bill. But
Makes all the sense in the world. I just can't fathom making six figures a year and still being paycheck to paycheck. I mean, I kind of get it. Just because, the more money you make, the more your bills go up. You just kind of go, I could afford that. Maybe it's just because of my situation where, I keep everything as low as possible. And I know that's hard to do, okay? I get it. Rent. I understand. I'm living in this world with you guys. But I know a lot of it. Let's just keep this ball rolling, okay?
Just checking. We're all living paycheck to paycheck, right? We're all collectively struggling to make ends meet and wanting to live somewhat of a leisurely life that we can enjoy things.
Okay, so that's what I was about to say. So one, not all of us are living paycheck to paycheck. But the people who aren't living paycheck to paycheck, like myself, the leisurely life shit, that doesn't exist. Anybody in here? I hate to tell you that. I wish I could just pull up to a regular job and work 40 hours a week and be peaches and cream. I really wish that was the case. But that's long gone. Now, you can live somewhat of a leisurely lifestyle. You can. After you put in the criminal amount of hours in work and overtime that it takes to reach a leisurely lifestyle. Usually they call that retirement. Or for instance, I'm in my mid-30s and basically the last 10 years I've just worked nonstop. And now I've reached a point where I can, work 40 hours a week. And be chilling. I know. And that could be all taken away from me. So that's fun. Anyways, let's leave this one. How to stop living paycheck to paycheck. My 3 biggest tips. Yay.
60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, 60%. I used to be one of them, and I'm no longer. Here are my 3 biggest tips on how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. My name's Khalil. I host the Unstuck podcast, and I've dedicated my platform to helping you get unstuck in your finances, career, life, and business.
Okay, so I usually would cut stuff like that out, but I left that in there because it's important. Right here, what I'm doing now, just how he said, he's literally making money off of talking about these issues. Just saying, something to think about. It's a crazy world we live in.
Tip number 1, shift your mindset. Oftentimes when we're living paycheck to paycheck, we are in a mode of survival. This is very natural. It's not shocking, and I get why.
You can't.
Numbers 2 and 3 were basically create a budget and live within your means. Pretty basic stuff. But I do understand what he says about when you are living paycheck to paycheck, it's super difficult to think about anything else other than how the fuck am I going to survive. So I do understand that because I've been there.
Expect people who live paycheck to paycheck to think about their future. Is that offensive? No, it's actually reality. When you are living paycheck to paycheck, you're trying to figure out how can I stabilize what's going on in my life right now. And every time I finally get clear and get some runway, something else pops up. There's always something happening. Financially, it's hard for you to think about how I'm going to set money aside Those are more afterburner thoughts.
So I actually totally agree with what he says. Honestly, I know it's super hard, especially when you don't make a lot of money, to save like 10 grand or 20 grand. But here's what happens, okay? I'm not a wizard at any of this stuff, but as somebody who doesn't have a college degree, no particular skill other than communication and being funny and being able to connect with people, which is a good skill to have. If I was able to pull it off, I was working. I'm not talking YouTube money here, okay? I'm talking I was bartending, waiting tables, selling used goods on eBay. If I was able to do it, you guys could do it, okay? So here's what happens, though. When you're able to, if you could get 20 grand in the bank, one, if you've never experienced that kind of money, you feel rich. And just know you're not rich, but you will feel rich for a little while. Okay, that stuff can disappear really quick. But here's what happens when you have that type of bread, just a whole loaf chilling in the oven. It gives you time to kind of really think about what you're going to do with yourself. So if you could just get to 10 grand, just that peace of mind alone and just being able to think super clearly, you'd be amazed. I highly recommend trying it out. I highly recommend it. Anyways, if you're new here, I'd like to read some of your comments from previous videos. Keep it fun, keep it light, keep it loose. This person, no name, goes, I don't even have $500 to my name, and I'm 28 years old. I've worked all my life on and off, but I really don't know how people are making so much money. Okay. All right. Hold on. That's the thing, is figuring out just how to save that 10 grand. You don't need, like, obviously you need some kind of decent job, but you don't need some career to pull that off. You can work 7 days a week for a while. It's going to suck. It's not fun, but it is worth it. But I'll tell you how a lot of these people are getting by. This one is something a lot of you may not know exists, but this is perfect. Hold on. This guy goes, I went out with a woman a couple of years ago. She was 37 with her master's degree. Her dad was still paying her car insurance, and she was deferring her student loans. Yeah. So I put that comment in there because you wouldn't imagine how many people in their 30s have their parents helping them out. And that's no shade to them. I'm not saying that, okay? Like, we're never going to get anywhere like lone wolf stuff. That's a pipe dream. I mean, it can be done, but like, people get ahead with other people's help. That's how you get ahead, okay? So I'm not knocking that. But you'd be shocked at how many people's parents help them out on a monthly basis in their 30s, okay? It's not like a criminal amount, but it's more than you would imagine, all right? So that's another way people are making it. And honestly, it takes a tremendous amount of effort nowadays to make bread. It just does. It just does. I hate to tell you that. No matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter. This person else, this person had another great point. It goes, it's not bad to be broke. The worst thing is being broke and not having a plan. Yeah, but we discussed that earlier. It's hard to kind of have a plan. But the cool thing is sometimes it takes you just hating your life in order to change it. Happened to me. It's a beautiful world. I mean, it's kind of fucked up, but it is a beautiful world. This person I actually disagree with. It goes, as a man in America these days, you are better off financially if you are single. Stay single. Well, if you find a good woman who's responsible, you'll get way further ahead in life, in my opinion. And then she'll leave you and, to ruin your life and leave your heart broken to pieces. It's classic. And all your money will be gone. So actually, he's probably right. Why millennials don't want to work anymore. This one's rich.
Generations are so confused at why we don't want to work anymore, or why we don't necessarily want to work hard or prioritize our careers. We know how short life is now, and it didn't have to come from a life-changing, life-altering experience like it did for those before us. You know that older person in your life that had someone close to them pass away maybe when they were young, and they lived life to the fullest because of that? Now we have that access to that information. We also had this global panini that happened, so we view life.
Global Panini. That'd be a good name of a restaurant. I'd eat there.
way differently than we ever have before. So even for a lot of us, if we've got a workplace that is purpose driven and they've got great values and they're doing amazing work, we're still like, I want to travel, I want to do other stuff with my life. And that's also confusing for us because we're like, oh my God, we've got all this like privilege, like the work we're doing is great and all of this kind of stuff. Why am I still depressed? Why do I still hate my life? Why do I still not want to work?
Well, the truth is most people don't have money up to go on vacation. I'm going to let my boy over here, yeah, it's Zach, take the lead on this one.
Car to spend money cause bitch, I'm broke. $7 to my name. Me and other rappers not the same. Bitch, I'm broke. I ain't spend $1 on my chain. And I don't really think I'm finna change.
Yeah, so anyways, the whole like, that's the one thing though that I don't really understand is like, I feel like the people living paycheck to paycheck or have kind of a good job, they still, like I get wanting to live your life. I have a great time, okay? Take a hit. Seriously, okay? I like to enjoy myself too, all right? I don't take life too serious. But at the same time, it's like most people can't, like what that chick just said, that's not realistic. It's just not. It almost doesn't exist. Like, it can exist, but we already discussed this earlier. You want to rewind the video back about putting in a tremendous amount of effort? 8 days a week? Yeah? Go to work all day, come home, work some more? Sounds fun, right? But that's what leads you to the point where you can live that leisure life and go on those vacations. I know, right? Like, seriously. I was having this discussion. You know what? Let's read a couple of comments real fast. This person goes, Frosty DJ Drake. He goes, 83% of Americans don't even have $400 for an emergency. Yeah. How the fuck are you supposed to go on vacation? Anyways, the other guy was talking about owning a house, but that's like a joke at this point. Yeah, it's just kind of funny because I don't like the fact that you can't just work a job, be secure, 40, 50 hours a week, call it a day, have your vacations. That's kind of like going out the window. And the only way to really make it is to do something completely bold and work a lot until eventually one day you don't have to work a lot. And even that might not happen. God, this is getting fun, right? Anyways, this lady had an excellent point.
I remember telling y'all a while ago that your mental health is directly linked to your relationship with money. According to NBC News, they published an article on May 9, 2023 at 2:04 p.m. The title reads, "More Americans are so worried about money, it's hurting their mental health." Y'all already know we are on the verge of a recession. I personally feel like we are already in a recession.
It makes all the sense in the world. And you know how okay, this is how badly it's impacted people's mental. This right here. This one goes, "Hey bud, office life is better than van life." This is the extent people are willing to go just to have some peace of mind. They're willing to live in a van, and now they're willing to live in an office building. Yeah, I know. And I actually get it. I totally understand. He goes, "I rent out offices and then sleep at them for the night for free. Better than a van. You have to pay for it. Van life is so costly. Office life is cheaper, plus you get tax deductions and other monetary benefits, where living in your van provides less value." But the value that both of these provide is just peace of mind because you're lowering your bills, you're lowering your stress. And and I make pretty good money, and I still have a roommate. Do I need a roommate? No. But guess what? It's easier to work together, and I understand not everybody's got that. I do get that. But that's how far it's gone. That's how far it's gone. Like, I think back to when I was totally broke, flat broke. It's depressing. I truly feel for you guys. And I would offer you a hit. But statistically speaking, most of you can't afford this right here. And you need to stay sober and you need to focus. I'm just playing.
Am I the only one who feels like I will never stop living paycheck to paycheck?
With that attitude, yes. I'm just kidding. But seriously, shift your mindset. Like, I know that sounds corny, but it's actually kind of true.
The economy we live in is trash. The jobs we work for are trash. They pay you the bare minimum, but want you to show up and give your 110%. How does that work?
Okay, that works because you keep showing up. And I don't mean it like that. What I mean is if you keep going to the same job and you're not making an exit plan, right? You're not getting that 10, 20 grand saved up so that you can make your next move, then you're going to say this in another 10 years from now. I hate to tell you that. And I have faith in you guys. I have faith in people. There's a lot of ways out here, new ways to make money. And it is odd, and it is strange, and it doesn't make sense. What I'm doing here is unreal. And I appreciate all you guys watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing if you can afford it. But that's what it is. Like, you could, I think those jobs are worth it if you have an exit plan, and you're gonna have to work a lot to get out of that situation. But that's why we let it happen to ourselves. How do I know? I never showed up to the same job for 4 years in a row, knowing that I'm never gonna actually get ahead. I didn't do that.
Okay, the problem is not that my generation
Gen Z doesn't want to work. The classic. None of us do. I get it.
does not want to work. It's the fact that our work and our time don't get equaled out
This chick's got a very excellent point, so pay attention. Seriously.
into how much we get paid. I'm not even one of those people that's like, oh, well, you got to buy a house for like $100,000 back in 1940, because that was long before me. I'm not worried about that anymore. But what I do have control over is my life, how I want to spend it, and how I make money in it. If I don't want to work the same job for the rest of my life, or I don't want to work 30, 40, 50 hours a week, why should I have to? It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I don't have work ethic. It's because the wages have not changed. And what is the government talking about? Not increasing wages. The second runner-up that my generation spends most time doing is being on social media, being on their phone, being online. And every single one of those people that spend that much time online comes across at least 20 people per day, without even knowing it probably, that make money just by posting on social media. So if you or me are seeing all these people making money online, why are you not thinking like, hey, I could do the same thing? Because you can. You don't need 1 million followers. You don't even need 100,000 followers. You don't need 20,000 followers to be able to make a sustainable income online.
Okay. So I put that in there just to make a couple things. One, making money online is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. Hey, look at me. Okay? No. It's like an internship where you might do it for 2, 3 years before you start making money. But that's like anything. That's anything worthwhile. That's what it's going to be. You're going to make probably shit money for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you cross through the ether into the great beyond. And you start getting paid what you're worth. And the reason why these people on the internet here make a lot of money is because you do it for free for a long time. And you get judgment from a lot of strangers. Not everyone's willing to put themselves out there. And it's the same thing. And I don't mean to preach to you guys. I'm just making a point here. Even if you're a plumber or an electrician, okay, you don't just start off making 6 figures a year. You start off making really shit money for quite some time. And the people who do make the great money, they were willing to take the risk and start the business and do the side jobs. And put themselves out there. That's the land we've reached. That's what it is. But she's not tripping. If you're new here, you've come across somebody who's making a full-time living with 50,000 subscribers. I know. Who would have thought? I would have never guessed. But guess what? It took me a long time. The whole 40 hours a week shit, forget it. I was working 8 days a week, baby. Yeah. For doing this, I did this for free. 3 years. And people laughed at me. And now they laugh with me. But anyways, this is a perfect example of somebody who was 29, broke, living paycheck to paycheck, trying to find her purpose. And now, get ready, She's making $32,000 to $70,000 a month, helping others do the same thing. Wow, who would have thought? And just so you know, I'm not making anywhere near that type of money. That's insane. But I will tell you, it is very easy to make $5,000, $7,000 a month online. I've done that selling on eBay, and I'm doing that here. And I'm not like bragging. I'm just trying to like inspire, just kind of open people's eyes to there are opportunities out here. It's just going to take a tremendous amount of effort. It just is, and a lot of risk. Because playing it safe, like back in the old days, playing it safe, that's actually like taking a risk nowadays. And taking a risk is actually playing it safe. It's all backwards. I love it. It's perfect. I don't know. That's a bit excessive, $70,000 a month, but apparently it's possible. And I also just want to make another point. I want to shout out this guy, Eddie, the Crippled Handyman. That's his YouTube channel. He just started his YouTube channel, older gentleman. He's on his third career now, okay? Right? Dude knows nothing about the internet other than just consuming content. Older gentleman, right? But he understands, and he's going for it. And I've been talking with him back and forth, just trying to help him out, because I admire that people take the chance, especially older people. It's actually kind of amazing that a guy pushing his 60s can see what a 20-year-old can't. Or maybe the 20-year-old can see it, but he's too afraid. So I bring him up just to say that, even when everything goes to shit, you can always learn something new. That's all I'm trying to say. All right? I'm done getting motivational. Actually, I'm not. Let's get even more motivational here with a little bow wow.
That's where we from. I'm tired of this, man. I'm sick of worrying about lit cars. I'm sick of worrying about the government. I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. And you got the power to change that, Kev. Nobody else. You.
Okay, so I put that in there because it says you got the power to change that. Now, look, I know everything's fucking expensive, and honestly, it kind of doesn't make any sense to me. And I really don't know what's going on, especially in America. Forget about Canada. That's a joke. Australia? Yeah. They're jumping in their ass like a kangaroo. Right up the Sucsessful. Yeah, bending them over. So, I know it's not, a lot of us out here are feeling it. I'm feeling it, for sure. But I put that in there because it is on you. It's on you. And it's on me. I'm handling my business. This shit wasn't easy. Okay? I've doubted myself many a nights. And I've had a lot of people laugh at me. And I've had a lot of people, they're going to have your opinions of you. But that's what happens when you do something bold. And that's usually the people who go on the other side, they're willing to do the extra shit. So think about that. You got to ask yourself, whatever you want, you better be ready for, there's going to be some people looking at you sideways. I know. How do I know? How do I fucking know? Anyways, this one was sent in from Dustin, my boy Dustin on Instagram. And this is a great one from Albert Einstein. And this is something that I've experienced my whole life trying to do stuff like this. So I just want to share this with you.
Today's reminder. One day, Albert Einstein was teaching a class and wrote on the board, 9 times 1 equals 9. 9 times 2 equals 18. And he continued all the way up to 9 times 10 equals 91. The class broke out in laughter because Einstein made a mistake. The correct answer to 9 times 10 is obviously 90, not 91. And the students began to make fun of him. Einstein waited for everyone to be silent and then said, "Despite the fact that I analyzed 9 problems correctly, no one congratulated me, but when I made one mistake, everyone started laughing. This means that even if a person is successful, society will notice even the slightest mistake." So, today's reminder to you is that mistakes are a part of the process. As Einstein once said, the only person who never makes a mistake is someone who does nothing.
I put that in there because it's so true. It's so true. Doesn't matter how many good things you do and how hard you try. You're always going to be judged no matter what. And the biggest mistake of all, in my opinion, is never even going for it. I couldn't agree with that more. So if you are someone who wants to do something bold and you're tired of being tired, right? The classic, I'm tired of being tired. It doesn't matter. People are going to judge you no matter what. Go for it. And starting a business, anything. And I'm not trying to get all motivational preacher here, but it's getting to a point where sometimes you got to hear it from a stranger on the internet for it to fucking click and register. Right, everybody? Anyways, this guy's also got another awesome point, which I think a lot of us do not do. It took me a while to learn this myself. It goes, always live below your means, drive a beater, stack bills. And when he says beater, he just means a car you can afford. That's it. It doesn't have to be a piece of shit. He goes, stack your money, have a roommate. Instant gratification means you will be poor in the future. Rich people stay rich by acting poor. Poor people stay poor by acting rich. Jack is the man. Oh, thanks, man. Take a bow. How you doing? I couldn't agree with that. I'm doing all of these things. All of them. Every one of them. When I go to the gas station, I live kind of like in the hood, kind of hood adjacent, and people are putting $10 on pump 7. That's the most common thing I hear at the gas station by my house. They all have nicer cars than me. Every one of them. Every one of them. Yeah, I know. But little do they know, I'm doing okay. I'm doing tremendous. I really am. And I don't mean to brag. I'm just saying that because I've lit in the car I'm talking about. I've lived in that car for 3 months, 7 years ago. So I get it. I do. And it is possible. Albert Einstein. Okay? Little Bow Wow. Anything's possible. All right. We're going to end on this note here. It goes, it takes guts to be vulnerable in public. I thought that was awesome because that's another thing too. When you do something that most people don't have the guts to do, that's when things pay off the most. The long shots pay off the best. It's not just a saying. That's real. That's the real deal. Okay? And you guys leave your thoughts. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, you're going to have to go put in double time. All right, triple time. I'm telling you, if you could just get to 10 grand, preferably 20, I promise you, oh my God, it is like you become a new person. You become a new person. And you might think you're rich. And that's okay. You'll realize you're not. But I highly recommend it because that allows you to move forward. And I'm done getting motivational. This one was sent in from a guy named Matt. This is hilarious. We're going to end on this note. Blind Humor on TikTok. He's a fan of the channel, but he made a parody song. He knows I love parody songs about where the economy is. And it's just beautiful. Shout out to all my Patreon members.
We will bankrupt you. We will bankrupt you. Buddy, you're a poor man, stressed man, gonna stay broke today. Work 7 days a week to stay off the streets, only to survive by the skin of your teeth. We will bankrupt you.
I just thought that was awesome. And I just want you guys to soak that in. This guy's legally blind. But he's still out here. He's still out here putting in the work. This guy's blind, yet he can see the opportunity that is this crazy world we live in where you can make money doing something like this. I want you to think about that. A blind man can even see that. I see, said the blind man. Excellent. You guys have a great weekend. Much love to everybody. And also, doing stand-up April 6th at 7 p.m. in Boca Raton, Florida at the Barrel of Monks Brewery in Boca. That is April 6th, 7 p.m. It is free. And I'm going to be shaking hands and kissing ass or whatever. Kissing ass. Anyways, I'll be hanging out after the show. God, hell of a talk. This was great.